Today, I'll be doing a video. Hatred of God. I can remember doing a video on the hatred of God. How some people overlook the hatred, focus more on the pity, compassion. Things like that. I think that is correct. Some people fixate certain verses and then the entire knowledge of the character of God is I like to reflect on the hatred of God because it helps me come to terms with the reality of certain things, hatred and wrath and the implications of that. So, not always pleasant to reflect upon. So, the hatred and wrath of God presents a different view of hatred and wrath. Normally, people have a lot of negative connotations, hatred and wrath. Hatred and wrath can be good in the context of God. There have been times where I noticed hatred and wrath of God being implied in things. It's like, whoa, real hatred, genuine hatred. And I think that me noticing it, I think it goes down to being aware of God's divine influence in things. Even when I was without the Holy Spirit, I could perceive the divine influence, which is really pleasant to reflect upon. And I can remember worrying of times when reflecting the hatred of God was an unpleasant experience because of worrying. But I've come to realize that in different parts of my life, God was doing different things to help me with things which would later occur. And that is interesting to think about. It's like God knows I'll do certain things, which he doesn't approve of, and I notice divine influence at different parts of my life where those things are nullified and negated because of his divine influence in my life. It's like, wow, love God heaps. Don't deserve it. So, there isn't worry when reflecting on the hatred of God now because of the times in my life where God's divine influence was in certain things, which meant that certain things would be nullified and negated, and that's really nice to reflect upon. Back to the hatred of God. I can remember a time where God was really extremely hateful towards someone. Noticed something, and that something communicated that idea, and well, that in itself helps me to come to terms with things like hatred and wrath, because the hatred and wrath of God, it's holy and there's nothing bad to it. So it helps me to view hatred and wrath, which isn't holy. It helps me to view it in a different way and to come to an acceptance of it, even though it's not at all enjoyable to come to an acceptance of. When I reflect on the instance where extreme hatred of God was strongly implied in something, it's like, well, I don't deserve God's love, and I don't deserve he should view someone in such a way simply because of something which happened. It's like, wow, he really loves me. I don't deserve it at all. The hatred, which was strongly implied in one instance, it's like far out. If the hatred manifested on the earth, if God willed for that, the implications of such a hatred to even occur, like people think that something extremely diabolical would have occurred. That's how extreme the hatred was. It's like, whoa. Really though, the implications of God's holy wrath, it's not diabolical, even though an outward manifestation of it in a certain instance It may make people convinced of that. It makes me think about the wrath of the holy angels and also the way in which how the holy angels relate to the devil. The devil has a severity to him when it comes to human sin, and the holy angels could probably share a similar severity, but that severity of the holy angels and that wrath of the holy angels, it takes a while to activate. It's very difficult to activate because holy angels, they carry out God's commands. I don't see the holy angels being full of extreme hatred when they just carry out God's commands. The Son of Man sending forth his angels, and them gathering together things which offend and which worketh iniquity, cast them into a furnace of fire. I don't see extreme hatred there. I don't see extreme severity for human sin. I just see celestial beings carrying out God's commands and being dispassionate when it comes to that. Not being like, yeah, frickin' get him. Just dispassionately carry out the commands of God. So the devil probably has a severity to him when it comes to human sin, and I think that the holy angels may even have a greater severity, because once the holy angel has been activated in the emotion of anger and hatred, and terrifying experience for a human. And that also creates another view of wrath and hatred. Not only can the wrath of God seem diabolical, but also the wrath of a holy angel. It's like, wow, it creates a very different view of wrath and hatred when I reflect on those facts. Yeah. The thing about the devil is that I don't see the devil ever doing holy wrath. The devil is a sinful creature which loves sin because he can make an indictment out of humans which sin. He can look at them and say, oh, look what your creatures have done. He can do that with God, make an indictment out of them. and he equally enjoys that. Helps to hide his own sinfulness, the sinfulness which first manifested in the Garden of Eden, and the sinfulness which manifested when he was full of pride and thought about elevating his throne above the stars of God. Helps to hide that a bit.